We are going to start a look around the Ark StarMap today. And as you can see, here we are in the Stanton system to begin with. I know a lot of people have done this before, but I figured, I haven't done this yet on my channel. So here we go. We're looking at Stanton, the current home of the persistent universe and the PTU. But very soon, we're going to be moving beyond Stanton to the nearest systems. Possibly Pyro and a few others. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. Anyways, before we move on anywhere else, we have Stanton the Star, which is in the middle of our home system. It's a typical G-class star. And there's really nothing really much about it. It's like our sun, it's not habitable, but in game we can't even visit it yet. I suspect though soon enough we will be able to. Okay. The first planet in Stanton obviously is Hurston, which is a super Earth. Yes, it's habitable, but it's kind of a gross planet. The information on it says it has a wealth of ore and other resources that are mined on Hurston to manufacture the company's line of munitions and weapons. Heavy industry has resulted in severe pollution across the planet, which is very accurate. Oops. The innermost, the first moon around Hurston is Aberdeen, Stanton 1B. Well, second moon actually. This is, I believe, where Klesher is. No, this is where Klesher is. It was named after Aberdeen Hurston, who is credited with designing the company's first antimatter warhead. This moon is Magda. Magda is Stanton 1C, who was named after Hurston Dynamics CEO Magda Hurston, who made the decision to purchase Stanton 1 from the UEE. Magda is the mother of current CEO Colonel Gavin Stanton. Okay, so we're gonna... Oops. Went a little too far out there. Yeah. Trying to stay in Hurston's space at the moment. That's Magda again. Ariel. Stanton 1A. Named after the third CEO of Hurston Dynamics, Ariel Hurston, who's known for creating the controversial life-labor style employee contract. You can even hear it being talked about in the hospital on Hurston, which is hilarious to me. I think it's rather funny. Probably not for the workers, though. And then, which is the last moon? Eta. Eta is Stanton 1D, the fourth moon of Stanton. Stanton A. It was named after Eta Hurston, who died during the First Devarn War. As a reminder of the product, why the products Hurston Dynamics develops are so important. And it's, of the moons, I think, of these moons, I think I like Magda and Eta the best. Ariel and Aberdeen are just hot balls, in my opinion. The landing zone of Hurston obviously is Gosh, what's the name? The landing zone of Hurston is... I should know this. Lorville, thank you. And the secondary spot is Everest Harbor, above the planet. Moving on from Hurston, we now move to Crusader, which, since I've been using this game, they've actually been updating stuff. Crusader actually looks like it should in-game. This is a low-mass gas giant that features a breathable atmosphere at high altitudes. This was an ideal situation for shipping manufacturer Crusader, who now occupies the landing zone, the shipping floating platforms to build massive ships like the Starliner and such. It's also a good place for, it also has the landing zone Horizon, which is the sitting in the clouds. Crusader has 4 moons. What are these? These are wrong. Kovalux Hub Gundo, Cryastra Services, Port Olisar, Korea. I don't even know what half these are. Comms Array SCC. Korea. What's the first moon here? Damar's the second moon of the planet, or Stanton 2b. It has an eccentric orbit, and it's kind of a deserty moon. It's named after the middle child of a 25th century child's tale. This moon, is Cellin. It has currently dormant volcanoes, so it's a lot like Earth's volcanic moon Io, but they're currently dormant. It's said to represent the siblings' simmering anger. Then we have the third moon, which is Yella, which I may mention actually has a ring system orbiting it of icy debris. And it's supposed to have a cool calculating mannerism for this moon. In between Stanton 2, which is Crusader, and the next planet, Ark Corp, is the Aaron Halo. Oops, sorry. The Aaron Halo doesn't have a marker yet, but it will eventually. And eventually you'll have to transfer between parts of the system through these gate stations. Meanwhile, we have the third planet, an ecumenopolis called Ark Corp. Buildings cover a majority of the planet's surface, with residential areas relegated to the north to the poles, while Ark Corp's factories and other regions are closer to the equator and are located in between. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Ark Corp is kind of a city planet. It only has 2 moons. Walla being the, I believe, the second moon? Yes. 3B. It's a low-density moon with susceptible to tidal forces that cause it to be noticeably problate. The next moon in the system is Lyria, 3A. It has cryogeysers and cryovolcanoes. After that, we move to the fourth and final planet in this system, which has 3 moons. This is Microtech. A terraforming error left this planet in a unnaturally dense cloud layer and a colder than average climate, making it an ideal location for owner Microtech to locate its heat-sensitive computing and manufacturing centers. It has 3 moons. The largest of which is Cleo, Stanton 4b. And this moon is really cool looking. Anyone who's ever been a Dragon Ball Z fan or a fan of anime has seen pictures of this moon. It has a green sky, green oceans, and green land. It's very much like the planet Namek from Dragon Ball Z. Very funky, with a pink sunset, too. Okay, I just lost the planet. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, that was that moon. Calliope, I believe, is the innermost moon, 4A. It's named after the ancient Greek muse who inspires eloquence, and supposedly to remind those gazing upon the moon from Microtech to strive upon expression of thought. Cleo, meanwhile, is the muse to remind those that gaze their work stands on those that came before them. Then the final moon, Eutrope, named by the Greek muse of music, to remind those that are guided by the natural rhythm of the universe in their design. The landing zone here is New Babbage, and the space station in orbit of this place is crap. I can't even remember. New Babbage, Tressler, I'm going to say. I know I'm going to be wrong, probably. Anyway, that's Stanton. Stanton has, in addition to planets, we have many Lagrange points, but we also have jump points to the nearest systems from Stanton. The first system we're getting will be Pyro and its associated moons. This is the Pyro jump point. So, let's go. Welcome to the Pyro system and all its glory. Pyro is very different from Stanton. Its star is what you consider an M dwarf. Oh no, it's actually been changed. It's a K dwarf now. They changed it. A long time ago, this used to be a M-class star. It's now been changed to a K-class star. Is that intentional or is that new? Okay. One of the closest features to Pyro is this. The Akiro cluster, which is an asteroid field. A charred cluster of blackened asteroids, while mostly worthless, some rare minerals can be found here. It orbits, it looks like, in the Lagrange point of Pyro 1, which is dangerously close to the constant violent flares of the system. It's a terrestrial planet that's not habitable and unclaimed. The next planet is Pyro 2, also uninhabitable and not have and rocky. It's a coreless planet. This has not been updated to the new stuff. Picked over, clean, and left in an empty husk. Pyro 3, meanwhile, is a lava world. But we've seen in a demo recently, Pyro 3 has hardened lava. It says lava planet, but I doubt it's a fully lava-covered world. I'm assuming it's going to be highly volcanically active, though. It says in the flavor text that it's speculated this terrestrial planet survived a collision with pieces of the planet-sized body that knocked Pyro 4 out of its orbit. Pyro 4 and 5 are a single entity. They orbit each other. Pyro 4 is a rocky terrestrial that is orbiting Pyro 5. Almost a double planet. Meanwhile, Pyro 5 itself is a gas giant that is yellow and green, slowly pulling Pyro 5 into orbit around it. In addition to Pyro 4, Pyro 5 has 6 moons. Adair, which has a 700-kilometer streak of shiny obsidian in its southern hemisphere. Oh, shit. Where'd it go? Lure, which is rich in carbon and little of anything else. Vatra, which has high pressure nitrogen methane atmosphere and lakes of hydrocarbons. Fuego, which has yellow and black iron sulfide soil. Fyro. This moon has lava oceans and frequent earthquakes. So, not a very pleasant place to land, I would think. This is the innermost moon of this planet, Ignis, which is covered in deep canyons and dried riverbeds. No other signs of water remain on its desecrated surface. And then Adair, which I think, I already covered this one. Okay. And those are the 5 inner planets of Pyro. After that, we move to the outermost quadrant of the system, and the only home for the system's primary residents. Pyro 6 suffers very little damage from the distant star, yet it's a protoplanet, so it's very much similar to our solar system's Pluto. I wouldn't think anything here would be livable. Around it is this thing. If it'll be nice to me. Ruin Station. A Gold Horizons platform orbiting Pyro 6. It was owned and operated by Pyrotechnic Amalgamated until it was abandoned. Feuds between factions have led to frequent and deadly battles, making this location extremely dangerous for civilians and outlaws alike. Yeah, this system This place is very unpredictable. It's ruled by a bar. It has a bar in an area ruled by a group of people called the Cousins. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. And that's Pyro in a nutshell. A very torn up system nobody really needs to visit. Now, a lot of you are asking, but wait, I remember another object in Stanton called Delamar. And it had a city or a settlement on it called Levski. Where is that? Well, that would be this way. We're going to go this way now. Welcome to its new and true home. We are in Nyx. This is the Nyx solar system. It has 4 planets. First, starting with the star, which is an F-type sun. Nyx only has 4 planets and 2 asteroid belts. It's very simple. The innermost planet is a coreless world similar to Pyro 2 that has been mined clean. This world will probably get a makeover once Nyx is ready. Same with Nyx 2. It has a smog, high-density pressure atmosphere of acid and CO2, and it makes Nyx 2 not worth terraforming. Oh, hey, Squirrel Lord. I'm looking over the Ark StarMap, buddy. This is in game. This is on the CIG website, and I'm looking around the Ark StarMap, showing people the various planets and moons that are coming soon. I already did Pyro, so now I'm on to Nyx, which is our next system. This is Nyx 2, which is going to be a CO2 planet. Oh, shoot. Did it stop? Okay. So after Nyx 2, we get to the Glacium Ring. I don't think it can get any information on it. Go back. Delamar is here. This is where our lovely little Delamar moved to. And where Levski went. This is a moon-sized asteroid within the Glacium Ring. It's about 8 astronomical units out from its star. So, it's pretty far already in its system. Levski was funded in an abandoned mining facility for years. Founded by a bunch of citizens that wanted to live away from the Mezzers. It's evolved into a self-sustaining port of political activists that wish to escape the eye of the Empire. Now, I wouldn't say it's completely successful, but it is to an extent. It's kind of a free town, if you've ever heard of that description. Alright, that's Nyx, Pyro, or Nyx 1, 2. Technically, Delamar is Nyx 3. Nyx 4, or the real Nyx 3, is this world. It's an ice giant, like our Uranus and Neptune. Nothing really interesting about it. It lacks any breathable atmosphere or any valuable minerals. So I'm thinking long term, when this system is put together, they're going to do a reassessment of Nyx 3 alone. This planet will probably have moons added to it. And more than likely, it will, it will be changed like Pyro 2 was. Anyways, that was the Nix system. Nix has quite a few jump points. We have one to Odin, Virgil, Bremen, Castra, Tohill, and we also have 2 asteroid belts in the system. The Krieger belt and the Glacium ring. Yeah. So Odin is in Squadron 42. Let's go this way. Now note, things could change in between Squadron 42 release and development right now. As it stands, this is the current makeup of Odin. Odin itself, the star, is a white dwarf, an A2 type star. It's not habitable. It's a dead sun. Next to it is the coil, the remains of the first planet of the system, destroyed during its red giant phase. We see this in the vertical slice. Following that, we also have its moon, gaining, which is Odin 1A. Still drifts near the remains of the planet. Yes, I appreciate all the positive input, guys. Please keep it coming. It keeps the algorithm going. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Space Xer, Ebob, and Squirrel Lord. Please do. Anyways, Odin 2 is right here. The first real quote-unquote planet. It's a Chthonian planet. Mostly, it's an uninhabitable world that houses various test facilities for scientists and various corporations who use the desolation to conduct more dangerous ops. Its moon, Villi, is actually a landing zone in this system. Check this out. It's home to Rayleigh Station, a waypoint for contractors bringing supplies to the facilities on Odin 2 below. Now, Rayleigh Station, according to current information, is a... how do I put it? You can visit it even if you're non-military. So, it is a publicly accessible space station or place. It just doesn't have a lot of amenities, as you might guess. Very Spartan. Sorry, I had to use the term. I had to use that term because it's very Spartan. Alright. Odin 2 was this planet. So what's Odin 3, you're asking? It's another Chthonian. It's a dead planet that may contain a fossil record that reveals the historical situation of Odin's past inhabitants. Meaning, it could have primitive fossils on it. And then we have Odin 4, another gas giant, which is home to several fuel refineries. Okay, now that's Odin. From here, you have jump points to Tenga, to Kellogg, and I thought there was one somewhere else, but there's not. Let's jump out. Okay. Go back to the galaxy. I'm double checking something. Hold on. Okay, so we begin from Nyx to Pyro to Odin and Stanton. Let's go back to Stanton. There are a lot of jump points here. Let's go through this jump point to another nearby system. This is Magnus, which has 3 planets. It'll probably have more moons added too. Maybe a 4th planet, but we'll see. The star of Magnus is the main sequence K dwarf. A very nice star. The innermost planet of Magnus is Magnus 1, a Chthonian planet. Now, if I remember straight, the UEE will not let you mine here. Mining claims on Magnus 1 are very hard to get. And if this was formerly the core of a, what do you call it? A gas giant. Magnus 2, meanwhile, is very different. This is a terrestrial Earth-like planet that was home to the UEE's shipbuilders facilities until they moved to Killian. Boreas suffered an economic depression for decades. Things, though, have recently begun to improve, though, with the headquarters of Drake moving here. So this is where Drake is headquartered, 1 jump point away from Stanton. I believe in this city, Odysseia. It was a vibrant and wealthy city until the UEE pulled out in favor of Killian. Little by little, the city is on the mend as Drake has recently set up their headquarters and production facilities here on Borea. So yeah, Magnus 3 is kind of an unusual look. They've actually changed the look of this world. This is a super Jupiter, a large multicolored giant planet located on the outskirts of the system. This world will probably have a ton of moons orbiting it eventually. We'll find out soon enough. Anyways, that was Magnus. From Stanton, again, we go to Terra. And now this planetary system will take a long time to be fixed. Right here, we have the Terra system. It has a ton of jump points. Oops. Terra Nova is the main sequence G-type star. And then its innermost planet is Arrow, a mesoplanet with rich mineral deposits but too harsh of a climate to make them easily accessible. If I remember straight, Arrow has an under 100-day orbital period. Yeah, about that, Squirrel Lord. I would suspect that Drake will have missions for you to test equipment and such. Petrus is an irregularly shaped moon with an inclined orbit, even though here on the star map it shows it as round. Weird. Petram is a small captured asteroid, much like Phobos and Deimos in our solar system. The second planet is Pike. It's habitable. Wait. It says it's habitable. That's weird, but it has no atmosphere. Maybe they're reassessing Pike. It's got thousands of mining operations in near constant operation to help fuel resource requirements for the system. And then we have its moon, Toja, which is tidally locked. The far side of this moon features heavy scarring from frequent impacts. Terra Prime, or the planet Terra itself, is a super Earth, just like Stanton's Hearst and such, without all the nasty pollution. I'll definitely say this about Terra 3, or Terra. It's a much cleaner, untouched planet. This is where quasi-grazers are from. This is where a lot of UEE animal life are from, that they were discovered on Terra. Prime is the largest landing zone on the planet, and from what I've heard, the tram system for Prime at the moment is a nightmare. If you hate Hurston's landing zone, you're gonna hate Prime. Prime has like 50 stops, so yeah, no thanks. It has 2 stations in orbit and a moon called Eta. Eta is similar in mass to Sol 3A, but it causes more extreme tides than on Earth. Okay, Eta, I think, will probably create waves and probably tidal pools in the shoreline communities. We have 2 stations here. ICS Evelyn, which is a space station. I've never even seen these space stations before. And IAS Hammett. Doesn't say a lot about what they are. We have the Hinge cluster over here between Terra 3 and 4. It's rich in minerals. The majority of this cluster has been claimed by various major mining outfits. This could have been Terra's 5th planet. Look how big it is. Then we have Gin, which is another super Earth which was terraformed. Technically, this is a political and military hub, unlike Terra 3. Does it have a landing zone? They really haven't gotten very far with Gin. Orbiting it, though, we have INS Rayleigh, which is a space station. I assume you can land there, too. And then at the outer edge, we have the Mars Solid Belt. Oops. Keep doing that. Terra has an unusual reputation in the UEE. It has a ton of jump points. There's one back to Magnus here, one to Stanton, forming a triangle in space. A jump to Goss, a jump to Pyro, a jump to Tarnus as well. And a jump to Hadrian. Also one to Tayak, way out here. But how would you even get out here? Look how far it is outside the system. Very crazy. Let's pick another interesting nearby system. Let's zoom out back to Terra. Now, remember everyone, we're here in Stanton. Next to Magnus, we have the Caribbean of the galaxy, which would be Ellis. So through the Magnus jump point, we're going to go to Ellis. This system is so complicated, it's going to take a long time to make. The star Ellis Prime is a massive F-type star. And let me just show you the size of Ellis. Look at this. Keep going. Keep going. It almost reaches Magnus itself. Magnus could be orbiting Ellis as a secondary star because of how huge Ellis is. I just noticed that on the map. Maybe even Nexus. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Never noticed this. Maybe Ellis' star is so massive it has secondary components. Anyway, let's begin our analysis of the Ellis system, starting with Ellis 1. It's a protoplanet that's super hot. A scorched, barren ball of rock and bubbling magma. Ooh, sounds fun for a vacation. While there is the possibility of major mineral deposits on this world, mining them would be far too risky. I'm going to have to say yeah, unless you develop something in-game. Ellis 2, meanwhile, is a smog planet. It's a massive desert marked with strange swirls and ridges created by frequent massive storms on the planet. That's Ellis 2. Ellis 3, meanwhile, is green. An ocean world. Who wants to go surfing? I know some people want to go surfing. Welcome to Surfer's Paradise. It's for racegoers who enjoy high-end mega resorts. In an effort, though, to protect the underwater reefs, ships are directed towards specific landing zones. Campos, which is so named because of large sea creatures that once stalked its oceans. It was the first world settled and continues to be the capital of the system. It basically says so. Ellis 4. No moons around Ellis 4. Ellis 5, which I think is Noble. The jewel of this system. Ellis 5 is known for vast stretches of woodland, evoking many comparisons to an undeveloped Earth. The local governor's council has made sustaining the planet's natural beauty a priority. And then we have its moons. Ellis 5b, a tightly locked moon. The planet's facing side is pristine, while the star-facing side is packed with craters. Then we have Ellis 5a. The regolith of this moon is slightly pink, making it a popular subject for lunar photography. So, good to know. And that's Ellis 5. Okay, there's an Ellis 6 here. This has been used to conduct human habitation studies. What is this? Enochel Station is a scientific outpost orbiting this system. So yeah, constructed in 2931 to perform habitation studies. So it's a pretty new place. That's LS6. LS7 is a ringed planet. A ringed corrosive planet. Yeah, I agree, Squirrel Lord. Look at this world. This is one of the first we're going to run into with rings. It has a corrosive, poisonous atmosphere, making it impossible to terraform or even land on. So why does it exist? I have to ask. Maybe we'll find out why. Then we have LS8, which is little atmosphere and nothing else. Now it should be known, Ellis has 13 planets. Count them, 13. I've just gotten to 8. 8 of 13 planets. Between Ellis 8 and 9, we have Ellis Belt Alpha, an asteroid field. And then we have Walleye, which is a gas giant. It's nicknamed Walleye because of its swirling storms. No, that's Bambora because of its constantly turbulent atmosphere. LS9 is a permanent debris field orbiting it. I don't know, it might reform into another planet. Who knows? We'll find out. This system alone will be a massive place. Judicia is an ice planet, occasionally used for ice mining expeditions. Judicia. Am I missing something? And here's the outermost planet, Pinecone, which is Ellis 13. Yes, fans, you heard that right. 13 planets. 13 around this star. Not including moons. It's called Pinecone. Ellis is one of the largest systems in the game. There are bigger places, though. Going back to Pyro for a minute. You want to see a system even bigger than Nick's Squirrel Lord? Here we go. Hadrian. This is close to Xi'an space, too. Look at that star. This is a red giant sun. A massive dying star. Welcome to Hadrian. Ooh. Trying to mess with it. Okay. Hadrian 1 is the innermost of the gas giants, a gas dwarf with a rocky core, too volatile to terraform. Hadrian 2 is an ice giant called the Watcher. No, it's a featureless blue globe. It's a class 2. Hadrian 3, meanwhile, is called the Watcher. What's with that? It's a blue planet with a dark spot. Hadrian has one asteroid belt called Belt Alpha and the Hadrian Flotilla, which is a massive bazaar that is for trade. Okay, I'm going to do, I believe, one more system, I believe. I believe I'm going to do one more system, which will be Castra. Oops. That wasn't the one I wanted. Castra has only 2 planets so far that we can detect. Castra itself, ooh, get out of that, is a massive B-type star. This star will die in a massive supernova explosion. Castra A, or 1, is a dead, dying planet without an atmosphere or raw materials. They've nicknamed Bullseye. And then we have Castra 2. Where is it? Terraformed forward military base. It was cleared for civilians after the collapse of the Messier era. Get out of that. Okay, that's Castra. Honestly, one more system, and then I'm probably going to call it. I've done Pyro, Castra. What next system? Let's do Bremen. Bremen is the home of Consolidated Outland. It consists of 4 planets around a K-type star. K-type stars seem to be very, very common. Bremen 1 is a protoplanet that has no notable resources. Basically, essentially a great dead rock in space. They claim to have a local superstition that flying past Bremen 1 can grant a pilot luck. Gotta love local superstition. Rytif is Bremen 2, a terrestrial planet that is where Silas Kerner, I can't remember the name, has established Consolidated Outland's headquarters in Stalford, the capital city of Rytif. So if you wonder where Consolidated Outland is from, they're from here. Bremen 3 is a coreless planet that has little remaining to be mined. And then we have Bremen 4, an ice giant that has a wealth of hydrogen and other gases, but it makes it an unsuitable world for gas collection. One more system, Vega. The front line of the UEE offensive. Oh. We are very close. A Vandal attack. Look at this. Vega 1. Okay, Vega itself is a G-type star. Then we have Vega 1, which is a mesoplanet that orbits close to its star. Vega 2, aka Aramis, is a terrestrial planet that has been attacked by the Vandal. Let's see if we can click this. It's got a ring system too, and 2 moons. An inner shepherd moon, Vega 2A. And the outer rings, moon 2B. Selene is this moon. An industrial world that shut down due to the Vandal attacks in the system. So yeah, Vandal attacks have really affected stuff. Vega Belt Alpha is in between Selene and Vega 4, which is a reddish brown gas giant dotted with orbital gas refineries. And I believe those are the ones that are closest to hold on. Vega is here. Stanton, as you can remember, is fairly close to us. If we go back to Stanton, you see that there are only so many systems near us. This is the Jump Network. The local Jump Network is pretty interesting. These are, I believe, large, between Magnus and Terra to Stanton. Medium is in between Stanton and Pyro. Cano is another nearby system of Pyro. Cano has only 4 planets, I think. Didn't even know that thing had a name. Cano 1 is a tidally locked planet that orbits its central star. Speaking of the star, it's in main sequence G. Cartiana is an ocean planet, and there are settlements here, but it's heavily regulated due to the Fair Chance Act. Cano 3 is another smog planet with a small research station looking into researching the terraformation of smog worlds. We have Cannon Belt Alpha then, between it and Pox. Pox. Never heard of this planet's name. It's a gas giant with multiple reds and browns that suffer from massive storms, some as large as 1,000 kilometers across. Okay. Anyways, I think I've pretty well covered the region around Stanton fairly well. I've done Bremen. Well, for the most part, I might do another part of the immediate region around Stanton. Remember, Stanton is here, so we have Magnus, Ellis, which I did, Tarnus, Terra. So I've pretty much covered the rough region around Stanton. Davian and a few others are left. So I'm going to call it for today. I thank everyone for coming out and watching. I appreciate it. Everyone have a great day.